What is the origin of Vedanta philosophy? What are the branches, if any? And how did it get misrepresented? So, what is the origin of Vedanta? The greatest of all masters in the olden times, they were just writing their own journals. The rishis were writing their own diaries of what is happening to them. They were studying their own minds. Vedanta started from there. Study originally about yourself. This is the way a rasgulla is tasting. 1,000 people say this is sour, this is sweet, this is very sugary, this is very spongy. All these clarifications and definitions are given of a rasgulla. But when you have a bite, you then truly know what a rasgulla is, or for that matter, what anything is. Similarly, the origin started where they started studying themselves about what Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta Shastra is. And so the great masters have written some recordings and they implemented that and they ticked off their corners. Yes, this is correct. Yeah, this is what happens. If I get attached to any object or being, I suffer. Either that object or being will be taken away from you, or there will be a rupture between both of you, or perhaps one of them will die. This much attachment and dependent on the other person I have gone through, and I have lost that kind of relationship. So I understand what these people are saying. This is what is confirmation. Who's written it? Nobody knows. It's like asking who wrote science. There are so many scientists. Albert Einstein is there, Isaac Newton is there, Edison is there, so many, Tesla is there, so many people are there. And all of them were scientists. And they wrote their laws, seeing the world, and that whole collection of laws is called science. Similarly, the connection or the whole collection of what should be the laws, how a human being is supposed to live peacefully and beautifully in the world. This collection of thoughts is called Vedanta. Okay? Original thinking. Nobody was taking the textbook and say, this is what they have written, so it must be true. No. This is what they have written. Does it tally with my understanding of my life around me now? If yes, then it is true. Okay, so that's how Vedanta came over. Nobody wrote. Therefore, throughout the Vedas, whether it's Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda, nobody has signed and said, I have written this. So many Upanishads, 211 Upanishads are there. Nobody has said, this I have written. That, so no ego, that is the level. So that's what Vedanta subject is. It has not come from somewhere in particular. It is like a river flowing, Ganges flowing for years and years together, millenniums together. What are the branches, if any? There are supposedly, according to your evolution, 3 branches of Vedanta. One branch is called Dvaita philosophy. The second branch is called the Visishta Advaita philosophy. And the third branch is called the Advaita philosophy, based on where you are, not where the world is. Okay, I keep on saying this again and again because we are very worried about what's happening to the world. You become all right, the world will be all right. Simple. You wake up, the world will wake up with you. If you are dreaming and you see a bad dream, bad world in a dream, all you need to do is wake up. So you need to wake up. So when you look around, it's your evolution. When you see the world, when your individuality is total, complete, and you say, I am living and the world is also there and I am different from the world. And there is a God. God is separate. I am separate. I am the individual, God is the totality, and therefore I pray, do Jai Jai to God. I am a Bhakta, God is the supreme reality. We are two identities, two entities. This is called Dvaita, two. When you study further, when you become more into evolution, you will understand that you are no more separate from the whole. In fact, your individuality is there. My family is there. My life is there. My body is there. Mind is there. Intellect is there. But I am a part of self. I am a part of the supreme reality, not a part of it. I am a part of the supreme reality, not apart from it. You have reached a state where you have identified that you are a part of the supreme reality, but yet you are existing a little different. This is called Visista Advaita. I am a part, and yet I am apart. When you study further and analyze your own nature, you come to a state where you understand that when I say totality, when I make a statement infinite power, that supreme Lord which is omnipresent everywhere, omniscient, all seeing, omnipotent, all powerful, infinite power, then in that infinity, from where did finite power occur? There cannot be two infinite powers. If there are two infinite powers, then the definition of infinity is wrong. Infinity doesn't have a beginning or an end. So if I understand infinity as the absolute reality, then there cannot be the existence of anything finite. Therefore, moral of the story, I am also infinite. The same power which runs everywhere, the same power runs through me. I am the infinite. I can get away with anything. There is no struggle. There is no stoppage of how much strength I have. My mind can go through thousands of things. Infinite power. As a human being, I have been given this choice to either identify with that supreme self or identify with this dhacha, a compartment of body, mind, intellect. If I identify with this body, mind, intellect, then I become a slave to it as well as the worldly passions. If I identify with the supreme self, I reach the highest, I become infinity. The choice is ours. This is the question. So Hanuman, like Hanuman, Hanuman said, somebody asked Hanuman, what is your relationship with Rama? He says, Deha buddhya tu dasosmi, jiva buddhya twadam shakaha, atma buddhya tvame vaham, iti me nishchita matehi. When I see my body, I am separate from Rama. When I see my mind and intellect combination, I am a part of Rama. But when I understand that my true self, what it is, then we are the same. Advaita philosophy. Sir, how did this whole thing go off then? So many students have asked this question. Such a wonderful knowledge, which doesn't talk about Hindutva. It doesn't talk about being Muslim or a Christian. It just talks about right kind of thinking and how each one can become better in their own life within their own religion. How come this knowledge is not known anywhere? What happened in between? How did it get destroyed or so-called? It's not destroyed because we are still talking. But how did it bring itself down so much? The rishis started the whole exercise with the attitude of originally thinking about what religion is supposed to be, what Bhagavad Gita is supposed to be, what Ramayana is supposed to be, what Vedanta is supposed to be. Think, understand, and experiment and live by it. As time progressed and the deterioration of the intellect started, original thinking was stopped. The whole society loves followers. They love herd instinct because herd can be controlled easily. 500 sheep can be controlled easily. But one lion thinking independently is dangerous. So since the world leaders and everybody around wanted to control the other person, they developed this beautiful attitude of killing any original thinker. You are listening to all what needs to be listened by, heard by things, all second hand news. All you know is second hand, everything. What is the idea of beauty? I have no idea. You look at Google, they'll come to know. All second hand. There is no more original thinking. The only way to re-establish Vedanta is to interpret the great Shastras with your own senses, mind, intellect, and your own head. Nothing else. You take up the Bhagavad Gita Shastras, you take up the Vedanta and start implementing it, living a life. And if it doesn't fit your bill, you have the strength to say it doesn't work. Nothing wrong in that. But have the strength. Because original thinking was destroyed, natural thinking was destroyed, liberal education was destroyed. Every time people are getting educated only with an attitude of what am I going to get out of this? What am I going to get out of this? How many people want to be liberally educated? How many people are listening now for these classes without any axe to grind? They just want to improve their whole life. Therefore, they don't have a problem as of now. Servile education is, I have a problem, I'm listening. As soon as the listening comes up a little bit, the problem dissolves a little bit, I leave. This is servility. What use it is? There is no use. You love because you love. You help because you help. This is what you are. This is what as a human being you are. So when you bring in original thinking back, there will be a revelation of this knowledge. Everybody needs this knowledge, of course. Everybody needs to improve their life. Yes, everybody should know the right way of translating this knowledge into everyday life. Yes. Why should it not be your own head? Why can't you think and make life better reflecting with the same text of the Bhagavad Gita? I don't need to stick to 5,000 years back for interpretation which some Mahatma has written. I can interpret the same Vedanta which should be followed now, which is right now more important to everybody. So that's it. Bring in original thinking, every aspect will go, no problems.